Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. What up, Carter? What's happening, big dog? What's happening? Brick Dot Media, and we are live. We are live.
Break that meeting.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Y'all see the title? Y'all see the title. Do UPS workers make enough money to survive? In general, do they make enough money to survive? And like I said, when you get in here, if you can hit that like button for me for the algorithm, we appreciate it. And we'll chop it up tonight. We don't really have a strict schedule tonight, but we do want to talk about the money. But, you know, do UPS workers in general, whether you part time, full time, do you make enough money to survive? We're going to deep dive into that a little bit. Good evening, Mr. Carter. How are you, brother? How are you? Right now, guys, we're this is our first time streaming on Facebook. So we're gonna see how that goes. But normally we stream on YouTube, but we're gonna try out the Facebook feed as well tonight. So we'll see how it goes. But I see Mr. Carter. Salute, brother. I appreciate you. Um, you tuning in from Facebook. I like it. I like it. So already getting some positive results from Facebook. So we're gonna keep it moving. All right. Yep. So we here on a Sunday. We're gonna implement a schedule as far as we're gonna let you guys know when the live streams will be, no matter what. We're gonna have designated days. So we'll cover everything that happens between those days when we go live. So anything pops up, whether it's news, any type of changes happening, whatever's going on, we'll cover that, all the in between stories when we go live on those specific days. We're trying to figure out those days, but in the meantime, we're gonna hit you when we could hit you. All right. So thank you everybody for being here. And like I said, hit that like button and we'll go ahead and get started. So y'all see I got the green in the back. It's green, right? Yeah. So we got the green in the back. So yeah. So whenever y'all see green in the background, in the backlight, we talking about the money, right? And so when it comes to working at UPS, whether you part time, full time, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, we're there to make a living. We there to make money, and it comes in different ways. There's a lot of variables involved. Um, I had a user on YouTube. He sent me a message. He or she sent a message earlier this weekend and said, "Well, like, hey, I heard you guys over there, y'all can make 100K a year." And real briefly, I was like, "Well, that is true. However, there are nuances to it. But in general, generally speaking, if you're a full time worker, even some of the part time people, if you're a full time worker at UPS, mainly drivers, you can make six figures. Now, that's not everybody, of course, and we'll get into the details as far as what makes or break you if you're trying to hit that six figure mark at UPS. It's very doable. However, you know, it's not everybody because everybody won't work enough to hit it. Now, let's start with the part timers. If you're a part timer, do you make enough money at UPS to survive? With the contract the way it is, insiders are making $21 an hour in my region, right? That's up from, I believe, pre-COVID it was $16 or $17. So $21 an hour it's a decent wage, part-time hours. So, you're working 20 to 25 hours a week, on a part-time basis. But UPS part-time, it gives you the opportunity, and I talked about this before, it gives you the opportunity to work another either part-time job or another full-time or a full-time job in addition to the part-time hours, because you'll be designated to a certain shift, a certain sort where what time you're working every day. So it gives you the flexibility to work another part-time, whether that's making the same or a little more or a little less. And it also gives you, to some people, it gives you the opportunity to have a whole full-time job outside of UPS. And so it enables you, or some people might want to go to school, broaden your education, so that way you can make your resume more impressive in order for you to make more money in the future. So, it gives you flexibility working part-time with $21 an hour. It's not meant to support you, and say, like, if you have a family, or say if it's you and your significant other, $21 an hour is not meant to be enough to support you and the family. However, it's great supplemental income, and the benefits, specifically the health insurance, is it really adds value to to the pay package, right? So you have the 21 an hour, and then you have the pay package, and you have the benefits included. And so it's kind of like it definitely helps your cause as far as your earning potential, and you have your benefits covered. Because, man, I know people that went to shop for the PPO coverage that we get at UPS, and they're having to pay an upwards of $2,000, $2,500 per month for the same coverage that we get at UPS, both full time and part timers, right? So the benefits, it has to count for something. It's a big part. But like I said, a part time pay, if you're single and by yourself, say you don't have anybody, you maybe live with your parents, the 21 an hour, 20, 25 hours a week, if you don't have a whole bunch of bills, it can put you in a spot to where you're able to support yourself. If you have a roommate, or if you live with your parents, like I said, it might be enough, if you don't have a spending problem. But if you have a family, you're going to definitely need to, you know, get other income, or, get a full-time job and have that as your supplemental income. But I think it's enough if you're single. Maybe if you dating somebody, maybe it might be enough. But if you have a whole bunch of bills, if you have that new Camaro or whatever, or you have, a lot of overhead as far as your spending habits, it's probably not going to be enough. And so I talk with people all the time, and I get a lot of emails, and I get feedback on the channel. And some people like, hey, look, man, like, I need more hours, and this part-time is not enough, and they're not giving me enough hours. Well, they're not giving you enough hours because it's not meant to support you and your family. And the way the operation is at UPS, you would have to work, two or three different sorts in order to get, 40 hours. But that's not the structure. So therefore, take the part-time pay, take the part-time hours, and you have time to do other things. And I always give that advice. Hey, find another part-time job. Even if it's not making 21, it's another part-time to supplement that. But you have great benefits, and you kind of just hang in there until you figure out what you want to do, whether you want to drive later on or whatever it is. you know Take those part-time hours, because I mean, like, they're there. Take them, and keep it moving. But those benefits by itself, you're not going to find that anywhere else, especially for what you get and for how much you pay for it, which is pretty much zero. All right. Now, full timers, full timers. What's up, Gerard? How's it going, man? Full timers, if you a driver and you're full time, you have the potential to make a really good wage, a good salary, a really good salary actually. However, what I see across the board, and I talk to a lot of drivers and I interact with a lot of drivers on a daily, and one of the biggest hindrances that keep drivers from making their potential at UPS, and this is probably at a lot of different companies, right? Is the inability to stay in service, the inability to stay out of trouble, maybe even stay healthy, because your body, you have to take care of your body, right? Your body have to push you across the finish line when it comes to this job every day, really. But the inability to stay in service, people get suspended, might do things they're not supposed to do, have issues with attendance, stuff like that. Just the laundry list of things that will get you, put out of service. We call it suspended, they call it fired, termination, whatever. Whatever the term you may use, I think that's the biggest hindrance, people staying in service, or, someone that might get injured and be out of service because they can't work physically for an extended part of the year. That hinders people as well. And I know people personally that have never made $100,000 a year, and it's due to those reasons. It's also due to people just don't come to work. And if you work at UPS, whether you full time, part time, driver, preloaded, doesn't matter. For the most part, you understand that the work is coming every day, and so it's a demanding job, and they pretty much need you. Whether you load trucks, if you have a route, like they need you every day. So if you don't want to work most days and or all days or whatever outside of your days off, like it's gonna stop you from your earning potential. And hey, teach his own. Everybody's gonna do what they do, but for me personally, I don't miss work. And I know that's not typical. I get it. A lot of people do maximize their time. They maximize if they're not scheduled off or they're not using vacation, they're not using option days, they make sure they're at work. I also know a lot of people that use option days early and, towards the end of the year, they're out. So if they still have to go to an appointment or something like that, or they get ill, they have to call in, then they end up getting disciplined. And, it just kind of goes a trickle effect, right? But many people just don't reach that potential. Now, me, I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, hey, here's my pay stub or here's my W 2 or whatever. I'm not going to do all of that. Y'all know what we make. Y'all could do the math. But for me, I don't miss work unless I schedule something. I might get sick once a year, but um it's more than enough to survive. It's more than enough to thrive. And when I say thrive, I mean not just like, oh, well, if I need something, let's say I'm a homeowner, right? If I need to replace a dishwasher, which I had to do this weekend, if I have to replace a dishwasher, or I have to do this, or I have to do that, stuff that's around the house, whether it's a project or, a breakdown or something like that, I'm able to do it for the most part, right? Because even if I don't work all the time, if I'm able to work most of the year outside of my vacation, I should still be able to have enough money or funds coming in order to thrive. And when I say thrive, I mean not only you able to take care of emergencies, but you also be able to pay your bills and pay them on time. You able to, of course, invest in your 401k or whatever retirement plan that you have, and put money to the side, maybe invest and do stuff like that. So it's not just oh, I could feed myself and I could house myself, or I can have a decent car. And, no, you need to be thriving. So it's definitely enough to survive, and it's more than enough money to thrive, even if you don't work like I work. You know, I don't think it's that as many people, it's not that many people that work as much as I do. And when I'm not at work, like I said, I'm just speaking for myself. When I'm not at work, it's kind of like a, man, where is he at? And then when I show up the next day or the next week or whatever, because I'm always at work, people notice it because I'm always at work. So if you one of those, not saying you have to be like me, but if you one of those who say, I don't care if maybe I'm not feeling like going to work, but I'm gonna go anyways. Not that you're sick, but a lot of times we wake up and we don't feel like going to work, and you're like, I don't want to use an option day, so I'm gonna go ahead and go. And then once you get to work, you start working and you feel better, right? But it's gonna be a lot of days like that, whether you part time, full time, no matter what job you in. But I mean, I guess it's key that you maximize your potential. I mean, because we don't want to work the rest of our lives. We want to actually retire one day and actually be able to sit back and say, I worked for 30 years. Now it's time for me to relax. Or maybe you don't want to relax. Maybe you want to find another job after you retire from one, you know, to each his own. But it's more than enough money to thrive and survive. Being, survival being the least valuable product. I mean, the bare minimum, you just got to come to work. So for those people who are not able to maximize their potential at UPS or any other company for that matter, um, you might be leaving stuff on the table. You might be leaving money on the table. You probably are leaving money on the table, and whatever that is, I would suggest you try to do better because I mean, you're able to invest more money, you're able to put more money to the side, you're able to contribute more to your retirement. It just makes it all for a better situation. So to answer the question, the title, I believe part timers and full timers make enough money to both survive and thrive. Now, some might disagree with me. That's cool. We welcome everything, but you know, we got to get to the bag. And if you don't know what that means, you might be one of those. Not judging anybody for what anybody does, but what I do know is that there's a lot of people that's waiting for these positions. It's a lot of people out of work right now in general. So it's kind of like, like, what are you going to do? Because if the money and opportunity is there, you're going to let it fall. You're going to let it slip away. We got to be taking care of business, y'all, because, you know, once you're in a position, and like I said on a previous live stream, if you have to go through the proper tunnels and the proper channels, A, B, C, and D, and once you get to E, that's the opportunity. You want to make sure you push hard when you get to E because, it took all of that work to get there. And now what you're going to do with it, right? So I'm welcome to any insight, any other insight. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But that's just how I see it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here on a Sunday. We like Sundays. We like live streaming on Sundays. Really like it. So if you're here, hit that like button if you can and send us a wave. Let us know you're here. What's happening? All right. All right. Shouts out to Carter. Waiting on the feeders video. Yeah, we'll do the feeders video. So you want to go to feeders, right? If I remember right. Yeah, we'll do the feeders video. We could probably cover feeders tomorrow. It's tomorrow, Monday. Yeah, we like Mondays too. Based on my channel stats, Sundays and Mondays or to like the hot days. So that's why you're gonna see me here at least on those 2 days. All right. We appreciate it, Gerald. A we just want to offer value to anybody that we can. So I'm glad that you get value in just being here, subscribing to the channel and showing up to the live stream. So I greatly appreciate everything. All right. I'm just glad I can offer value. Jimmy Bob from Maryland. Been grinding this progression, hitting top rate in a few months. Keep motivating the Brown Box boys. Yeah, man. When that top pay hit, now I don't know if you were an old 22-4 in that progression, or you were an original off the street RPCD in a progression where you kind of started at 18. I don't know which progression you in, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you go from year 3, then you hit that top pay progression, man, it hit. No matter where you at before, when those checks start coming in, you start seeing that gross. When I hit it, I had that feeling like, yo, this is crazy. Even though I already knew what it was gonna look like, just actually seeing it hit, it's just like, man, it'll bring tears to your eyes. I'm not saying I was tearing up, but I probably wanted to. But it's different. It's different, especially what we go through to get there. Even if you got hired off the street as full time, I know a few people that did. Even those people, they kind of got like a fast track to top pay because they didn't have to go through the other, all the part time stuff. Even in that scenario, you hit it, you like, man, it's crazy. It's like one week you check looking like this, the next week you check looking like that. It's crazy. But hey, congrats to you. Way to hang in there, Jimmy Bob. And you know, let us know how you feel. I know you're gonna be super, super excited, man. What's up, Jens 005? What's happening? UPS or Josh, it's slow at your hub. Um, my hub, I mean, it's a little lighter. The SurePost has kind of leveled out a little bit since we outside of peak. But I mean, it's still doing what it does. Like they haven't been cutting too many routes outside of Monday, like Tuesday through Friday. I haven't been seeing a lot of route cuts, you know. So I don't know if that covers it or if that even says anything. But um, yeah, not slow. Give me a second, yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure if that answers your question, but not an extreme slowdown where I'm at, but maybe we lucky. But hopefully where you at, hopefully it doesn't last that long, man. Because I hate to see people laid off. I hate to see people out of work. So, hopefully that doesn't last too long. We appreciate it, Josh. Man, hang in there, bud. And Josh, what is your title? Are you a driver? Are you inside or what are you? The MN Scout Dad. What's happening? Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Not too many jobs give you apartment APT after 8, offer a 6 punch, and allow you to bump vacations and all the UPS where it's at. Changed my life. Yeah, it's definitely a unique job. It's definitely a unique opportunity. It's like no other. And I've looked around. I've had jobs before this, obviously, and so it's just like it's very different. It takes a lot of people time to adjust, and a lot of outsiders won't understand. Like they don't understand. But it's a great place to be, and that might not be popular amongst everybody. I get it, but that's how I feel. It's a great place to be. I like the structure. I like the vibes. I know that's kind of, it might sound lame or something, but that's how I feel. But yeah. Yeah, Carter. You know what's up, Carter. You know. Okay, so you started as a 22-4 Jimmy Bob, yeah. So your progression, yeah, they converted y'all to RPCDs after the contract. But that's dope. I'm glad that was done. So you guys can go ahead and go get on with your progression and get to that top pay. Hey, congrats to you. Yeah, congrats, Jimmy Bob. Man, Carter say life changing. Man, Carter, you know what's up. You know what's happening. You know exact look, life changing might not be giving it enough justice. For real. It might not be. You're right. Hey, congrats. Mike Bigger said I was in 22-4 progression and the growth is ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, you talking about when you get that top rate check? Sheesh, crazy. They say it's like an extra part time job on top of full time. I turned my 401 up from day one, so I don't notice it at the top. I want that back in pension walk off. Look, what I do for my 401k, whenever we get the raise in August, we get the raise every August, August 1st, August 2nd, whenever it is, whenever we get it, I always increase my 401k because I don't need a bigger check. I don't need to take home more money. I'm good. My bills are intact. I'm good. I'm not spending beyond my means. I just increase my 401k contributions for real because I mean, like that extra money, I rather get the more 401k, less taxes. It helped me off a little bit on taxes. So it's like I don't need it. So I mean I recommend that people do that. Not everybody gonna do it. I get it, because in my building, you know what I'm saying? Like when that August hit, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I noticed, we have a lot more new cars in the parking lot August, September. But maybe it's just me. Maybe they was gonna buy a car anyway. I don't know. But what I do know is that, I don't trip on those raises. We know they're coming, and so whenever it hits, I just okay, increase. More percentage going to my retirement. So like that's what I do. All right, UPS or Josh said a lot of cuts in Nevada. Man. Yeah, Carter, work ethic. Work ethic. You say it and then people know it and they still like, oh yeah, I have it. I have good work ethic, but you know, they be showing something different. And look, I don't talk about anybody on a live stream in particular. I just share my experiences, what I experience on a daily, and it's never aimed at any one person or any two people or any five people or any 10 people. I just report and I just speak on what I see in general, right? But if I get asked personally, like, oh man, I heard you was talking about A, B, C, and D. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. We just having a conversation. It wasn't aimed at anybody. It's just what I experienced. And so sometimes I do get approached and asked about, but nah, it ain't towards anybody. It's just in general. But we could have the conversation and if I could just help people, one person, two people, you know, with something, I feel like I've done something. And I don't feel that I'm taking jabs at anybody. I just feel like one person's experience or another person's struggles may or may not help another person. And so if I'm able to help one other person, even if it's one person in a year, I feel like I've done something. Um, one of my purposes on this planet is just to help if I can, when I can. And guess what? If I don't help anybody, that's cool too. At least I tried. All right. Yeah, parts of the country are destroyed by sure posts. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're a driver, yes, you understand. Like, man, I was getting crazy sure posts. I'm still getting, crazy sure posts. It's probably a difference of about 20, 25, 30 stops a day on my route. But, you know, it adds to my day, but it doesn't really add a whole bunch. It just add up my stop count, but my volume pieces doesn't really go up a whole lot. Yeah, make the money because you never know what you're gonna want to do. You never know when your car gonna break down. And I know this is like 101 stuff, right? I get it, right? But you never know. You might be used to a certain type of vacation. You might want to do something way better next vacation. You know what I mean? So, make the money. And I just say stop being lazy. I'm not saying anybody here is lazy, but I'm just saying, like, man, we all could get complacent. We all could get, man, I don't feel like it today. We all get it, is I think it's just the ones that's able to fight through it and be like, you know what? Nothing's wrong with me physically. I can get up. I just don't feel like it. But let me go ahead and do it anyways. And I'll thank myself tonight or later or next week or next month, right? But you might want better stuff. You might want a bigger house. You might want a better car. I don't know, but it is tough. Life is tough in general. I get it. We don't feel like doing a lot of stuff. We get tired. We get frustrated. We get annoyed. We get just downright lazy sometimes. Yeah, I said it. But we gotta fight through it. It's just like everything. Jens 005 said they'll be laying off majority of part-time day sort at the Minneapolis hub in April. It's sad. Yeah, it is sad, man. It is sad. It's cycles in any industry. You have the ebbs and flows, you have downsizing, you have upsizing. And so it's like you gotta stick and move with the punches, man. It's gonna always be some type of adversity. And so, like, it's sad to see people laid off. It's sad to see people, you know, having to move locations and stuff like that. But, I always say that whatever it is, it's never the worst thing in the world. Yeah, it might feel bad or it might suck at the time, but a lot of times when you're having to move or pivot, sometimes like that, maybe it's just another opportunity that's going to open up for you. And it might not be the worst thing in the world, even though it might feel bad at the time, it might be better in the long run. And I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. I get it. A lot of people might say, well, you don't know what it feels. I do know how it feels to be laid off. It sucks. Like, you can't tell me how much it hurts because I understand, like, it sucks. But how we going to respond to it is probably the bigger thing. How we going to respond to, okay, I have to pivot. I have to figure stuff out. I think it makes us better as individuals, right? To have to problem solve, to have to figure stuff out. I think it makes us better, but it does suck. Hopefully those people could pivot and figure stuff out because that's what it's all about, right? It is sad. Man, people losing jobs. What up, Nick? Nick in the house from SA. What up? What up, Nick? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, the company is going through some turbulence. It's a lot of decisions being made. It's a lot of questionable decisions being made right now, and it's just it's tough for everybody. You know, um, we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it shakes out. Oh man, it's cold. Man, you say -20? Yo, if it was -20 here, my crazy ass, like I'm not even gonna kid you. I'm not even gonna kid you. -20, I probably have to put on some of those layers that I never use. But your boy gonna have to go to work just because I know a lot of people not gonna go into work. So that's gonna make me extra motivated to go to work. you know, I have to go. All right. Thank you everybody for being here, Bomb Squad. You are appreciated. Hey guys, our memberships are open. The first tier memberships start at 99 cents a month, and you get perks. You get perks. I think we have 3 or 4 tiers of memberships. You can check those out right in the description of this video if you want to get more information. And I believe a few of the tiers of memberships, you do get merch. Merch is included. If you want the specifics, like I said, the link is in the description. The lowest tier, it starts off at 99 cents a month because the channel is growing and we're going to get to a point where I love to interact with the chat. I love it. I love reading you guys' questions, you guys' comments, but the channel is growing, so it's getting to a point to where I may not be able to read everything, but members will get priority over everyone else, right? So just letting you guys know, like I said, link is in the description if you want more information. And check it out and let me know what you think. All right. Jimmy Bob is always slow after peak and layoffs, but sure post and the 50% Amazon reduction. We will be good. Everybody's experience is different, and the job is not for everybody. Man, wait. Hold on, Jimmy Bob. Hold on. Hold on, Jimmy Bob. Hold on, Jimmy Bob. Look, the people know this, right? The people know this, but I say this all the time. This job is not for everybody. Even if you're a part-time insider, the job isn't for everybody. Everybody situation, everybody experience is different. I've been saying this for years. Jimmy Bob, you get it. I appreciate you. And even if it's not for you, not you, just anybody in general, even if it's not for you, it's okay. Because let me tell you something. I get a lot of feedback on this channel, which I love. I really, really enjoy the feedback, whether it's a comment, whether it's an email, all of that. I get a lot of feedback. And I do get negativity, people maybe from other companies, or maybe they had a bad experience where they used to work inside, maybe they got fired, or maybe they quit or whatever, or even if they drove, maybe they just didn't have a good experience. Hey, that's okay. I listen to everybody, and everybody, like I said, everybody have their own experience. That's great. But, you know, just because you had a bad experience doesn't necessarily mean that the gig isn't good. It doesn't mean that you can't have a successful career. It doesn't mean that you can't move up in a company if you choose to go in through management and move up in the ranks and be, president of a region one day. Your mileage may vary depending on how you get in, where you get in, what kind of person you are, the way you think, all of that stuff, all of that matters, right? So everybody's experience is different. I'm going to speak on, of course, I won't say names, but our division manager, he was a division manager a few years ago. Really cool guy, right? And, some of you in here might not like people talking about management. I don't care, right? He's a good guy. He's very personable. I'm not gonna say his name, but he moved up quick, like division manager, then territory. I mean, now he's got another promotion, and he was just a division manager just a couple years ago. And so I seen him last week. Told him congratulations. Really good guy, well deserved, hard worker. He speaks to people with respect. He talks to everybody. He's real nice. He'll get in there and load a truck if he had to, right? But even if that's what you want to do, that's available, you know? And he started on preload, you know. A good guy. But so I just had to highlight that comment. We appreciate it, Jimmy Bob, for your comment. But you 100%, 1,000% right. UPS jobs. I increased my vacation fund. Yep. Look, you got to go to work in order to do that. You got to show up. If you want to do things, you want to do things better. You got to show up to work. I mean, it's simple. It's very simple. Jimmy Bob said, just making this platform does a lot for drivers or UPSs in general. Everybody doesn't see the vision and have the focus and lose motivation because the hub or center doesn't have camaraderie. That's facts, first of all. Second of all, look, man, when I go into work, I like it when I talk to my coworkers and they be like, "Hey, I seen the video you was talking about this," or "Hey, I seen a live stream last night you was talking about this," because these are people that have access to me every day, and we could have a conversation, and they still like they know how I feel. They still get on a live stream and they'll still kick it on a live stream, which I think is great. You know, so I'm gonna do it. The people who work with me, who see me every day, they know me, and the same energy I have on these live streams trying to help people, I'm the same in person. You know, we just and we'll chop it up. You know, there's not many people who don't agree or who don't like what I have to say. So I think it's great. I just want to help people. Like it's cool. And the negative people, they're gonna be negative regardless. Whether you give them $1 million or you buy them a house or buy them a car, they're gonna be negative no matter what. So those type of people you can't help. But I get it. That's not most people, and that's cool. All right. But the camaraderie, I try to bring my people together because I mean, we better together than we are apart, and it's just better when people just hanging out having a good time versus arguing and yelling and a whole bunch of negativity. So anybody who knows me, if anybody on this live stream that works with me, I don't know if Carter's still in here or not, but y'all know, um we try to bring people together. We try to get people talking, nothing but positive energy. That's what we roll with every day, every day. But yeah, the culture at UPS, I mean, it starts from the top. So if you have good management team, you got, even if they're not really like all-star status, like if you have a decent group, you know, it makes the job more pleasant, because it is stressful, it is chaotic. It makes it more pleasant to deal with. It makes more, you spend a lot of time away from home. It makes it feel just a little better. But yeah, that's key. But it does start at the top. I agree with that. Paris, thank you for being here. UPS, FedEx, Post Office. If you're not at top pay, it's hard on us. I'm not sure what that means. But thanks for the comment. We appreciate it. All right, the MN Scout Dad. Hey, have a good night. Hey, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. You always hit a support. So I thank you for that. Absolutely. 100% Brick Dot Media. Yep, yep. Bomb Squad is in the house. Nick Martin. Oh, Nick, you said it's cold? Yeah, I think we're gonna get below freezing here a couple days this week. We ready for it. I have my layers already ready. So we're not getting any snow. Wait, hold up. Oh yeah, we're not getting any snow this time. So it's cool. It could get cold. It could be in the 20s. I'm cool with that. It's cool. Wednesday through Saturday, we'll be ready for it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm showing up. Yeah, I'm not taking off this week. So yeah, we good. So yeah, Nick, I know you like the cold too. Let's get it. Let's get it. Terrell was happening. I work at the Raleigh Hub. Heard it was laying off people again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucks. The layoffs is never good, for the individuals especially, but like I said a few minutes ago, a lot of times it's gonna be how you respond to it. If you happen to get laid off, not you in particular, just everybody in general. If you happen to be laid off, it's how you respond to the layoffs. I mean, we could sit up here and say what a company this, what a company this, my management team this, my management team that, but it's how you respond to being laid off is going to determine your outcome. So, you know, we are tested a lot of times just with life in general, and so that might just be like another test. I know it's probably not fair because obviously life is not fair, but yeah, layoffs are tough. I don't like seeing people lose their job or even getting put on pause. That's never fun. But man, hopefully those people could figure it out. Hopefully they could figure it out. We'll appreciate you. We'll appreciate you. The Jordeezy one, bro. FedEx is turning everything over to contractors only. Do you think this could backfire? UPS does well because employees are paid well, in my opinion. Man, that contractor model, I worked under that model when I was back. I don't know if any of you guys remember Airborne Express. I was with Airborne Express right before DHL bought them out back in what, '01, '02. So I've worked in the contractor model. They just trying to get rid of liability, getting rid of liability. I'm not really up to speed on the whole operation going to contractor model, but I know ground, of course, and like the home delivery stuff is all contractor model. But as far as express, I know that's still it's still FedEx. But if they take express, if express goes to contractor model, we they want to hold the contractors accountable for whatever happens, and so they don't have to hire anybody. They just get a contractor that's going to take over however many routes or zip codes or areas and stuff like that, and they just pay the contract. They don't have to have employees, so it's just to release liability. And so if a customer have an issue with a driver, FedEx don't have to deal with it. The contractor has to deal with it. And so as far as insurance and all of that stuff, FedEx don't have to worry about that. It's all on the contractor. So the quality of workers, in my opinion, because I've worked under both. Obviously, I'm here at UPS. I've worked under the contractor model, and the quality of workers you get under the contractor model is just not as good as getting, like a company driver. It's just different. It's not as good. And I've seen it. I mean, even back in the day, I've had to hire drivers to work under a contractor before. So I understand what it is, and you can't offer them a whole bunch of money because the money's not there. And so you have to get people that's willing to do the work for less. And that typically yields not as good of a product. And that's just the way it is. But I'm not sure. I'll do some research and I'll report back to see what I found out. I'm not sure if FedEx is doing that, but if they are, then we will report back about it. Yeah, Carter, facts, man. You know what's up, Carter. Yeah, Carter's my guy, y'all. Yeah, yeah. Carter's my guy. It's my one of my right hand men. And our center is it's probably like every other center. We have a really good group, and it's me and Carter's job to try to keep that group intact and check all of that stuff. But yeah, we got a good group. Me and Carter, we have fun. We have fun. We appreciate the support, Carter. We definitely appreciate the support. What about Integrad for new drivers? I've heard it is hard and they throw stuff at you way too fast. Yeah, Integrad, it's supposed to be hard. And you supposed to be like Integrad is hard. Because if it wasn't hard, if it wasn't challenging, what's the point? There's a lot of responsibilities if you get sent to Integrad, or if you start driving, there's a lot of responsibilities you have as a driver. So it's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to leave undergrad training, whatever, with your brain on fire, smoking. You need to learn a lot because this job has a lot of responsibilities. I was having a conversation with my safety committee just last week, and we all agree if you're a driver, when you finish with your day, if your brain isn't fatigued, you're not doing something right. Any drivers in here, you know what I'm talking about. So, undergrad is supposed to be hard. And the fact that it's hard, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. And it doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It's to get you conditioned for what you're going to have to deal with on the daily. So, look, if you think it's hard, I think it should be harder. And they do, yes, they throw stuff at you way too fast. But any drivers in here, you guys know everything is thrown at you fast. When you're actually doing the job, everything is thrown at you all day. You have to figure stuff out all day. You have to avoid crashes all day. So you get the opportunity, Nathaniel Wolf, run to Intergrad and take care of business because you got it. But that's what it's supposed to be because that's what the job is. It's not easy. And like my man Jimmy said, it's not for everybody. I've been echoing that for years, right? Yeah, the first 4 years, the first 4 years, I mean, it's a race. Who could finish? All right, who can endure? But that's life. That's life in general. Who can endure the longest to reap what's at the end, right? And be able to enjoy the fruits that come out of it, right? You got to get up every morning. You got to go to work when you don't want to. You'll get bumped, as a lower seniority driver, you might get bumped. Okay. Are you going to go home and whine? Or are you going to show back up the next day and run a route? You know what I mean? It's just life. It's like a motto of life. But low pay, low seniority, yeah, we all go through it. Hey, this year, guys, this year is the first year I'm able to get spring break off. And not that I need it off, but it'd be nice to get spring break off. This is my first year that I have enough seniority. When I went into the vacation book, I seen it had two more spots left for spring break, and I took it. But about to hit 11 years this year with the company. My first year, I'm able to get spring break off. So it's a little minor achievement. I'm not really celebrating anything, but it just kind of comes with it. Lower seniority, you'll get those weeks of vacation in February, or you have to get one in January. You might have to get one in October when nobody else want to take off. And so, when you start moving up, you get more opportunity to the weeks in the summertime, you know, Thanksgiving week if that's what you want off, or spring break, around spring break, or maybe even May, you know. Yeah, Express is going contractors. He talking about FedEx. I got laid off, got my CDL, and got on a local company called Saya. Okay, I know about Saya. Customers will suffer under all contractors. Some companies will ship with UPS for better service. Yeah, the better service. Yeah, it's a it's a service battle. It's a customer battle who can get the best customers and have retention. You know, you got to be able to keep them. and who's going to go above and beyond to give you a good product, because in these big companies it's hard to be 100% when it comes to service. We get it, right? You're always going to have your room for error, you're always going to have your errors in general, but who's going to be able to outlast the other? Who's going to be able to not f up as much as the other, right? And that's what it comes down to, you know. Yeah, Carter, you know what's up, Carter. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. We appreciate the support, big dog. Do you have a nameplate on your truck already? Yeah, I got it last year. So whenever you hit 10 years seniority, you get your nameplate. And if you have a route, you put it on your package car. If you don't have a route, which I have a lot of buddies, well, not a lot. I have a few buddies who don't have routes, who don't have their own truck. So they got their nameplates and they're going to just hold on to it until they actually get them a route. And so they'll be able to go ahead and put it on their truck. But yeah, I got it last year. Um, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool walking into your truck and you have your nameplate on the outside. So that's super cool. But Mr. Pena, you want to talk about feeders? We will hit feeders this week. Don't know what day, but you know, since you're interested in it, we'll talk about it. But hopefully we answer the question. Do workers at UPS make enough money to survive and or thrive? Yo, that last video we did, the last video we did about um do you even like your job? What it was like, do you even like your job? And then the other question was, um, what was the other question? Hold on, I got it right here. Yeah, so basically asking, do you even like your job? Or so we was talking about the people who may or may not value the job as much as other people. And so do you value it? Do you like it? And I got a lot of responses from that video, both the comments and emails and text messages from the people who know me. And so yeah, got a lot of feedback. So keep the feedback coming. We appreciate everything. A positive, negative. We'll take all the feedback. It's cool. Fatigue is the magic word, says Jimmy Bob. They are trained to make you feel overwhelmed and stressed and push you to the brake, your salt, your truck, and you got to have the right integrity and remember you getting paid for everything. Yeah. But look, and you probably already know this, Jimmy. You can throw as much money, as much resources to anybody, right? That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't make people just shake up and do the right thing. That doesn't make people get out of bed when they don't want to get out of bed. That doesn't make people do anything. You can throw $1 million. They say like, "Oh yeah, if you pay me $1 million to do that job, I'm gonna do it." Yeah. You'll start off hot, but then again, you'll fall right into your habits, good or bad. So you gotta have it, and some have it and some don't. I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, some companies got it. Some companies don't. Some people have it. Some people don't. No matter how much you pay them, they'll start off hot, then they'll go back to their old habits. That's just the way it is. We are people. We are humans. We do human shit, right? We make human mistakes. We have human habits, and we go back to those whenever we have a chance to. And that's just the way we are. But yes, you are trained hard because you're going to be overwhelmed most of the time. You're going to be stressed out most of the time. You're going to be frustrated most of the time. So the training has to be hard. I don't think the training is hard enough, you know? But that's just my opinion. I think the training probably should be 2 weeks, no cell phones. You can't phone a friend. Um, if you show up and, you know, you ain't looking right, or maybe you forgot to shave a little part right here, I don't know. Maybe be a little tougher. But maybe that's why I don't come up with the training because it might be too hard. But I'm just getting you ready for the real. That's it, you know. But yeah, you got to push yourself, and a lot of people don't want to push themselves, and so it gets hard for some people, and even people that's been doing this for years, they struggle at the same time. And I'm sure every work group have a little small people in the corner who gonna always struggle, and they're never gonna get right. But that's just the way it is. That's life. Yeah, Mr. Pena. Okay, I'll call you Mr. Pena from now on. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Pena. Mr. Pena, you're not calling in today, right? No, I'm joking. More money, more problems. Yeah, Batman. Good to see you, Batman. More money, more problems. Yeah, that was a Big song. Um, I mean, yeah, more money, more problems. For some, it doesn't have to be that way. Um, more people. Well, I can say more people. Some people make more money and they create more bills for themselves. And so more bills may or may not create more problems. So yeah, more money, more problems in that aspect. I get it. Yep. But I just always suggest, like, you make more money, you might want to be a little more frugal, but it just puts you in a better situation long term. But then again, you have some people that make more money, spend more money, and that's fine too if that's what you want to do. But you may or may not have get more problems after that. But even the frugal people have problems. So, it doesn't matter. Um, more money, it gives you more room for error. That's a fact because you dig into more stuff, and then so the room for error is greater. You know, you may be a little more risky with your resources, which could yield more error, which could yield more problems, so on and so forth. Yep. Facts, Mr. Pena. I'm gonna call you Mr. Pena for now. You should have never told me that. Nick JCS, 200K job. People think they ain't gotta work for it. Delusional. Delusion is right. Delusion is right. You know, look, I remember when the media was like, "Oh, UPS with the new contract, some of these drivers gonna be making 170K, right?" And I laughed when that report came out because it was everywhere. It was on ABC, it was on all the different news networks, the media throwing all of these articles, these analysts using it as clickbait, so on and so forth. And so this channel didn't exist at that time, but man, I was asked what I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, you would have to be at top pay. You would have to work max of 60 hours a week every week for the whole year. I'm not saying it's not possible, but for someone who works diligently and their vacation and their paid time off outside of that, if they showing up to work and they working 60 hours a week, which is hard to do for a whole year because that's a lot of hours. It's hard on your body. Not saying you'll hit 70K, but 170K, but you can do well. You can do the math. You can figure it out. But yeah, it was a lot of clickbait. But what I do know is a lot of drivers won't even get half of that because they don't work enough. And I just go back to what I said at the beginning. A lot of people just don't work enough, you know. And for whatever reason, I get it. You might have family you got to take care of. You might have this going on. You just might get sick a lot. But just know if you don't work enough, you can't maximize your potential, and just the way it is. But um, you know, so I mentioned some of the feeder drivers, but we'll talk about that on the feeder stream. But 200K, not saying it's impossible, but you got to freaking show up to work. Taxes crush everything. Yeah, the taxes is crazy. Um, we might do a taxes stream. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about the taxes. We could make that a whole stream. Invest in your 401k, maximize your 401k. That's all pre-tax. Get rid of that. I mean, there is a way you could leverage, your taxes because they gonna tax you to death, right? But you don't have to get taxed to death. But if you don't know, then you don't know. But we might do a live stream on a tax situation. The company changed once it went public. Yeah, all companies change when they go public because it's a different focus. When a company is not public, you have an owner, but like once the company goes public, you have shareholders, you have quotas, you have Wall Street expectations. You got to try to meet them or beat them, and so it changes the focus of the company. Absolutely. So when people say, well, it changed, we're supposed to because the money's going to come in differently, and now you have all of these different investors versus just an owner, you know, and so that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. Guys making 150 in Texas for sure. Work preload on Saturday and 65 hours a week plus. You show up to work, you know, you can make what you make, you know what I mean? But, you don't show up enough, then, you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? A 150 in Texas, you know, I can't argue that. I haven't seen 150, but I know there's 150 being made. We put it like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, the sleepers, yeah, the people on the sleeper teams, they make decent, you know. Yeah, they do pretty well. It's a lot of driving, but yeah, they do well. Yep, yep, yep. Bomb Squad, good looking out tonight. Um, we're gonna shoot for tomorrow night. Not sure what the topic's gonna be, but we'll dig up something. This hood is available. We have black. Link is in the description. And the sale is still going on. I think we have 20% off the hoodies right now since it's still a little chilly in most parts. And we still have the free shipping if you spend over $50, or if you spend 50 or more, free shipping. And the hoodies are 20% off. And I believe the tees are still 10% off. All right. Link is in the description. And like we said before, memberships are available now. The lowest tier, 99 cents a month. And we're getting to a point where we try to read everybody's, but it's a lot, right? And so members will get top priority as far as answering questions and reading your comments. So we're just trying to make sure we cover everything. We're trying to make sure we can help everybody who needs it. and we're trying to make sure we inform as many people as we can. We appreciate everybody for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Check out the channel. We uploaded some videos over the weekend, and we'll see you on the next live stream. Bomb Squad, salute. Bricked Out Media, we out.